J4, wake up. J4, we have a show to do. Wake up.
Dang,
Wake
girl.
up, man.
Well, you had to wake. I was dreaming about Lola Falana,
Oh, my gosh.
old school lady.
I know who that is.
You know who a lot of folks don't know about Lola Falana.
Am I telling my age?
We telling both our age.
Well, I'm glad you're up now because we have a very important show today.
Do we really?
Yeah.
Who we got on here? Don't tell me right now.
Okay.
Welcome to Atlanta Voices of the Base at symbol ATL -VOT base BASE. And of course, if I'm reading that off to you, you already know that. Right, Maria?
Yes.
All right. Atlanta Voices of the Base is Brothers and Sisters Empowerment Podcast, the 750 Community Network. Be sure to check us out at, again, I say, ATL, Voices of the Base, VOTBASE. Don't forget that little dash in the middle. From this day forth and on, please hit the strike and subscribe button. like
The like
Oh,
and subscribe button.
the like.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you know.
So I already know what kind of night it's going to be.
Maria,
Yeah.
how about a little news?
What you got?
Did you hear about the security breach at the Fulton County Jail today?
No, I didn't.
You did not?
No, I didn't.
Now, when you think of a security breach, what comes to your mind?
People's ID.
No, security breach at the jail.
Security breach at the jail.
At the Fulton County Jail, you think of an inmate that escaped.
Is that what happened?
No, it was an inmate that tried to get in. At least he's an inmate now because he tried to break into the jail.
Boy, stop.
Look it up. Just Google. Google will make my integrity look so much better. He tried to break into the jail, ladies and gentlemen, to sell contraband.
Oh, okay. I could believe that.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I hear he was homeless.
So do you think?
Not anymore. I am that I am.
You know what?
What? I am that I am. J4. Say so. Along with Maria Flint. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to help us out. Help us out. Put something in the chat. We got to give this lady a nickname, okay? Maria Flint is so job application. So,
So you are determined that I need to have a nickname.
yes, you got to.
Why?
I mean, because it just goes. You know, there are so many nicknames out there. Like,
Don't you start.
I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna. Anyway, shout out to New York Voices of the Base, Brooklyn in the house, Bed-Stuy, East New York, Brownsville, and Clinton Hill. Shout out to Baba Abdullah, aka Mike Tyson. Read that book, Mike Tyson. I just want to say, man, you the man, man. You the man, you the man, you the man. I'm gonna keep shouting you out every time until we get you over here.
I was wondering why you shout him out.
Man, we gonna get this man on virtual one day. You know,
Okay.
Somebody in Brownsville gonna show
Well,
somebody.
I got a question.
Talk to me.
Shout out a couple of more people. Maybe we can get somebody else besides Mike Tyson.
Man, I want Mike, man. I want Mike. Come on now. Anyway, our New York Voices of the Base 750 podcast host, Mr. James Brinkley, LaShawn Wilson, and the man with the plan that you got to understand and hide the man, Kelvin Frazier. Don't call that man Kelvin. Kevin, there is an L there, ladies and gentlemen.
Kelvin.
Yep. Sending love to our last week's guest, who was Taylor Smith with her great children's book. I'm going to try to remember this off the top of my head. Tech is magic.
You got it.
Tech is magic, and it's not no hocus pocus. It is.
Hocus pocus.
Come on now. She with me. She with me.
Ah.
Our guest for this evening is Carla Havior. Don't put no B in front of that. No, her middle name does not start with a B. Okay? It is Carla Havior.
Not
and she has heard enough
behavior
of behavior jokes in her life. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was Havior, like caviar, when I first saw it.
I didn't know what it was, so therefore I didn't say anything but Carla.
Right. That's a good way to go.
That's how you play it safe.
That's a good way to go. Carla is a licensed professional counselor and author, has published several books that center around faith, personal growth, and relationship drama. Her published works include Journey to Destiny. Do you have that book? You can show
I
it?
do.
Show it. Journey to Destiny. A Story of Faith and Growth. How Do I Trust Thee? Do you have that book? Show it.
I do.
A novel. And the spinoff, Yet Will I Trust Thee? Another novel. Okay. All right. Also, she worked as a correctional officer, and we will get to that soon and very soon. But we gotta pray to the King soon and very soon. You know, when I go down, then you just start praying. We are gonna pray to the King.
Dear Heavenly Father, to make him stop singing, I'm going to... Jay.
You want to start praying?
Oh, God. Dear Heavenly...
He made laughter.
Carla,
It could
Would
be
you-
worse.
would you like to lead us in prayer?
You got yourself into something today, Carla.
Would you like to lead us in prayer tonight?
No, I'll let you
No?
go.
Okay. Well, dear Heavenly Father,
Carla's going to be on her best behavior. I had to get one.
Best behavior.
Right.
dear
Ironically,
Heavenly
my middle initial is V.
V.
V as in
Behavior.
Valentine.
Okay. All right.
all right, let me go.
All right. Do that, baby.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you. We praise you and we worship your name. We just give you the glory and the praise. Thanking you for this night, the night that is going to be awesome. We thank you for our wonderful guest. We thank you for this studio and our engineers that just make sure that everything is in place and everything is great for each show. God, I thank you for Mr. J. Fo.
Say so.
And Lord, I just ask that you bless us, keep us, direct us, and lead us. God, we thank you for each and every listener. And Lord, we just ask that you bring increase upon each and every one. And we just give you the glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ashe. And for those that you don't know, that means amen also.
All right. Let's get this party started.
Let's get this party started right. But not too quickly. We have probably about, 50 minutes to go.
Yes.
Carla, how was your day today, first and foremost?
It was good. How was yours?
It was great. Thank you for asking. Loving the glasses, loving the background. It's all enchanted. You must be at your vacation house. Is that where it is?
Sure.
All right. Are you in Belize?
Not right now. This goes, though. Goes.
I'm glad because I believe she was going to tell a lie. That's okay. Anyway,
Why?
I'm on one today, right?
Yeah. You didn't have your nap today, did you?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. And I had a Mountain Dew too, so you know.
Oh.
I'm sorry, APAL Media. I should not have did that. Forgive me. After which, like I said, she also worked as a correctional officer. After which, she went back to grad school to become a counselor. Let us count the ways of counsel. How many counsel ways do you have inside of you or that you are about, Miss Carla Havior?
And what does that actually mean, counsel ways?
Okay, so are you a counselor of just one identity or more than one?
No, I meet you wherever you are, and we unpack whatever you have going on. I've done a lot of mental health counseling. I've done some life coaching. Just whatever you need. I meet you where you are, and we work from there.
So if I come in for a counsel and I'm that guy that just starts screaming and I'm just emotionally just torn and I can't let you get a word in edgewise, how do you stop me? How do you reach me? Because surely that has happened to you.
I let you go through whatever process you're going through. I've had everything from people telling me that they were Captain America, and I was like, "Oh, with the cape," and they're like,
Okay.
"Yeah," and I was like, "Okay, so you wear that every day?" They're like, "No, I just go with it, whatever they say." I had an inmate one time when I was doing session with him. He had a cut on his arm. I was like, "What is that?" And he was like, I cut myself trying to get that chip because the government is tracking me. And I was like, "Did you find it?" He was like, "No, I couldn't find it." I said, "Well, let me tell you why you wasted your time. You're in prison. They already know where you at." And he started laughing. He kind of went from there. So you just have to meet a person where they are.
Right.
Because if you try to rationalize and reason with them, a lot of time that makes them escalate.
Right. And so you kind of like get on their level, and that way they open up to you. I
You just
totally
go
agree with
with
that.
it.
Maria does that to me. She really does that to me. I get to tripping. First, she might just be like, Chafo, Chafo. But then she get a little crazy with me. Yeah, so I totally agree with that. That is good. So being a counselor, right? That's pretty much synonymous. Did I use that word right? Synonymous. Does that go hand in hand? Does synonymous mean go hand in hand?
Yeah.
Sometimes
If
I be
you
using
want-
these
if
big
you
words
want
and I
it
don't
to.
even know.
Whatever you want, Jay.
It's where it depends on where you were going with that.
Right. But I'm gonna whatever, because you already told us.
Is that the same as being a it starts with a P? What is it?
Carla?
Okay. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit of what led you to go into the mental health field.
I actually didn't want to go into the mental health field. I just wanted to, be a counselor to help people, not necessarily deal with mental health issues. But both of my parents worked at a mental institution. And so that was absolutely not what I wanted to do. But when I went into corrections as an officer, any type of trying to help the inmate is considered personal dealings. You can get fired for that. And then once you start letting them in, then a lot of times they play inmate games, set you up, and then you still get fired. So because I wasn't in a position to really help, I said, okay, well, I've always been that person that people wanted to talk to. So I go back to school and be a counselor. That way I can, help them with their issues. And my first job out of grad school was actually back at the prison as a counselor. But I was in a male facility at that time, but when I was an officer in a female facility. So it was a little different.
Who's worse, the males or the females?
Females, definitely, because
right,
petty.
Right.
With the males, if you write them up for doing something wrong, the word gets out, oh, you can't play with her like that. So they never try you again. Unless you got a newbie coming in, then of course they're going to try you too. But women, if you have to write them up for something, they spend the rest of their time trying to figure out how to set you up and how to get you back. So yeah, it was totally different.
A woman scorned. That's biblical, right?
Yeah.
So 3 books. Why is there not a book about your time as a correction officer? And is there one coming? Is that a story you don't want to tell?
That I know of. The book Journey to Destiny is more so a testimonial, but not told from a preachy type of word. It's a story. It tells a story. But a lot of it, all of it is my story. But I was particular about how I told the story because I wanted to be careful just to tell my story without putting other people's business out there. So, I had to do some praying before I did it because I'm like, Lord, you don't want me to tell. You need to lead me on how to write this because you don't want me to tell it because it's not going to go well. So I started with an experience that I had in church one day, and then I kind of flashed back because what I have noticed and learned and found to be true is that most people have issues that stem from childhood, and it just kind of builds because unresolved trauma, and it just kind of builds on each other. And so mine pretty much started as having low self-esteem because I'm a brown skinned girl, and I had a sister that was lighter, and often when I would be with her, they would just totally ignore me. And if they did, they'd be like, oh, you're cute too, baby. And it just kind of built up an insecurity in me that I wasn't good enough. And it kind of shaped the people that I end up dating and the things that I allowed to happen. And so I kind of got into, just talking to people about everyday life and raising sons and everything. And it was a period of time, and maybe a month, let's say, 3 or 4 different people say, you should write a book. You should write a book. And I was like, I don't want to write no book about what? And so I was like, you're really going to have to help me with this, Lord. So I talk about when I realized that my first story is when it actually started, because one day I was at the mall with my sister, and the security guard that knew her, he was like, "Oh, y'all look just alike, but she's salt and you're pepper." And I just like,
You should have told him to.
punched at him, not knowing what I was going to do as a teenager, but she pulled me out. And she was like, no, you're beautiful, this, that, and the third. But it just built from that, and just, found myself, my ex-husband, when I met him, we had broken up like, teenagers do. He was a college sweetheart. But then when I found out he was dating somebody else that was lighter than me, it became competition to get him back. And, only when I started writing that book did I get healing, and God showed me it was never about him. It was about you wanting to prove that you were good enough.
Now,
and
with
so,
that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just worked through a lot of stuff writing a book. And again, I tussled with God about it, and I was like, that's my business. I don't want these people no more business. And he's like, no, that's your testimony. And I was like, okay, then, whatever. But I found healing through the book, because as it took me through each stage, I had to sit in it and deal with it. And so it was really very therapeutic, more so than I thought it would be.
Now, with the brown and the light skin, did your family members treat you any kind of way differently?
No, because my mom is light, my dad is brown, and my sister is light, and my brother and I are in between. So it was never an issue in my household. It was everybody else.
Everybody else.
Even to the point when I thought I had dealt with it when I had my children, because they're a little lighter than me, they would say my children look like everybody else but me. Oh, they look just like your sister. Or they wouldn't say they look like me.
Yeah, well, you
so it was a lot of things that, once you think you're kind of done with something triggers it, and you like, okay, it's something still there, Lord, that I need to work on.
So, that's funny, because growing up, I had issues of being a light-skinned woman. I mean, a light-skinned child. I don't feel it away anymore.
Still light-skinned.
I'm still light-skinned, but I don't have those issues anymore.
They ain't messing with you no more?
They don't mess with me
So
anymore.
did the darker ladies mess with you?
Yes.
Okay, it ain't about you. Let's talk about Carla.
And did they?
No, you didn't cut me off.
Oh, you right.
Did they hit you with that? You think you cute because you light skin?
Oh yeah, and so
did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had long hair, and they used to say, "Oh, you think you're white," and I never thought that. I said, "No, you think I'm," but I never had that issue. And then, so my name is. Oh, I'm getting ready to bring this out on air. So my first name is Edwina, and they used to call me White Weenie.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And that really messed with me for a long time, because I really, felt a way about that. And sometimes it was some of my closest friends that were doing it. So
Right.
I felt a way about that. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I was well in my 30s, probably close to 40, before I just really learned how to embrace the skin that I'm in and love myself completely. Because when you don't think that you're worthy or you're enough, you put up with things from people that you wouldn't if you recognized your worth.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Well, since Jay says it's not about me, it's all about you, we're going to get back totally to you.
Well, I'm just saying, the saying, though.
Well,
you know the saying, though. The saying
but you already said it.
All right. But the saying is, though.
What is it?
When you light, you all right. When you brown, you can stick around. But when you black, it's back. That's what happened.
It's unfortunate that we still deal with that type of mentality in our
I don't think it's so prevalent now, though. I don't think it's so prevalent.
It is.
Is it really? Right.
Yeah. It is.
Well, it's an oxymoron for me, because I only want the chocolates of the chocolates woman.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Well, that's good to know.
Senegal black.
Senegal.
Yeah, well,
Senegal.
I had a man. We were just having a conversation, and I had a man tell me recently that he only, for a long time, he only liked light skinned women. He was brown skinned, and it was because
Recently, a grown man.
yes, I mean like last year, and but when we started talking, he had trauma too, because he was the darkest person in his family, and they used to always pick at him about being so dark. A lot of choices we've made a lot of things that we allow stem back to
Still
childhood
from the
trauma.
childhood. You're right.
Carla, have you ever
And we
read
just build on it.
the Willie Lynch letter?
The what?
The Willie Lynch letter.
I have not.
You should go on Amazon, get that book, and you will see why things happened the way that they did.
Okay.
Don't take my word for it. Just do it. What do you have for it,
will.
Maria?
Well,
You have a question?
yeah, we're going to go back to the book.
Okay.
What was your biggest challenge in writing your books?
The first book was really the only challenge because, like I said, it made me look at me. It made me deal with my stuff that I hadn't dealt with, because what I realized is that a lot of us have on a mask. And what I say by that is I was going through depression from divorce and everything, having panic attacks, went to work. Hey, how you doing? Da, da, da. You put it together, counseling other people, happy, go home, go to bed, put my kids in front of the TV, get up, feed them, go back to bed, get up, put them to bed, and go back. I mean, it took all of my energy to hold it together at work. And,
So-
I was get on anti-anxiety medicine. Nobody ever knew anything was wrong with me.
So does the counselor need a counselor?
Oh, of course. I got a therapist to this day.
Yeah.
Even when I was in grad school, going through the counseling program, our professor said every good counselor needs a counselor, because you're constantly taking on stuff from other people. You
Right.
need a way to unload. And so, yeah, I 2020 was hard for me because I ended up going back to my parents and being their caregiver the whole pandemic. Whole 2020, I had no outlet, couldn't go anywhere. And by the time I left their house and went back to Atlanta, where I was living at the time, I felt unraveled. I was like, I have to find me a therapist. And so it took me a year to process everything, and because I am a counselor, I've always been that person that people call, and you always pick up the phone. And one day she said, well, what would happen if you don't pick up the phone? I said, I don't know. I've never done it. She said, well, what do you think would happen? I said, well, I guess they would either have to figure it out or call somebody else. She said, exactly. And she helped me set boundaries that I had never set before. I think it was that year I didn't go home for Christmas. I was like, I'm tired. I have to take care of me. They didn't understand it. And, and I started having to reframe how I dealt with my family, how my family dealt with it. And it started prioritizing me, because I always felt like I needed to be available, because I help people. I'm the counselor. I need to be available. But it was sucking me dry. And, I think I was at a conference and I heard one of the speakers says, you're supposed to pour from your saucer, not from your cup. And if you think about a cup and a saucer,
Right.
the only way it gets in the saucer if it's your overflow.
Right.
But so many of us pour from what we need and don't have any overflow to pour from. So I really started focusing on self-care and telling people no. It was hard at first, but I had to learn that no was a complete
you.
no.
Yes.
Yeah, no will make you. No will actually make you. Do you think it's easier for, let's say, a male counselor than a female counselor to just totally just let that be the job and not take any of it home? Is that a?
I think it has to do with how compassionate you are.
Right.
That same male that I was telling you told me he, just only used to like light-skinned females. He's also a counselor. He's like, I don't care about that stuff. If you say this, so what? Do it. I'm like, man, you're a counselor, really? I mean, so it just depends on your level of compassion, whether you can take that hat off and put on your home hat when you go home. I've never been able to completely check out, I guess, because I'm always thinking of, okay, what could I say, or I'm praying for the person, or, just trying to think of other ways to help them. So it's not as easy to do that if you really care, whether you're male or female.
Do you recommend a degree counselor more than one who does not have a degree? Does it matter?
I would say, depending on what you're your
Issue is
seeking. Yeah,
you're
what you're seeking.
yes.
If you're seeking spiritual guidance, and you have some pastoral counselors that can give you a better frame of reference than just a lay person, then no. But if you're talking about some deep rooted issues, I don't feel like anybody should operate outside of their area of expertise. And so that takes a certain amount of schooling. And, when you're a professional, you have board of ethics that keep you from doing certain things that can be detrimental to your people that you're working with. So it depends.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 7:27. We got about 33 of those minutes left. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're hearing, hit that like button in the top right corner, wherever it's located at the bottom. At the bottom. All right. Maria said it's at the bottom.
And right next to but they can subscribe and like.
There you go.
You got to tell them.
I mean, that's why you robbing. Or am I robbing? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know.
Because people don't know who Robin is.
No. Well, yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
You don't think so?
Nah, they don't know who Robin is.
It's always about Batman.
It's always about my Batman.
All right.
I am that I am. J4 say so, though.
Yeah.
Along with Maria Flint from the Brief Hour Stint. And we have in the building Carla Havior. The Havior.
Yes.
Well, it really is.
It really is. Carla V. Havior.
Well, Carla, let's talk about some stress, anxiety. What are some practical ways that we can manage stress and anxiety in our daily lives?
Exercise always, it gets your adrenaline going and cortisone released and all the things. But sometimes it's as simple as just finding that time to be still and be quiet. Could be getting up, 15 minutes earlier before your house gets up and just sitting in that quiet, praying, meditating, or just listening to the silence. It could be going to walk. Some people like retail therapy, but that gets tricky if you can't really fit that in your budget. Music that soothes you, not your Jasmine Sullivan busting the windows out the car, but something soothing.
I like that song.
Art therapy, reading a book, just things that you enjoy. Some people just like to sit outside in nature or take nature walks. It's about whatever you enjoy that brings you peace. You need to do that. Make time for it. Carve it out. Because a lot of times people get busy taking care of everybody else and don't take care of themselves.
What's better? What's better, meds or prayer?
Both. If you need meds, take your meds and pray. It's okay to pray and seek therapy. It's okay to pray and take medicine. It's taboo to take medicine for depression, but it's not taboo to take medicine for your heart when you have high blood pressure or if you have diabetes. So that's all part of taking care of yourself. Nobody has a problem going to the cardiologist if your heart hurts, but if your head hurts because you're depressed and you can't shake it, why not go to the person that's trained to help you? Just like God made medical doctors, he made clinicians. It's okay to do both.
How can family members help better support loved ones who are emotionally going through mental illness or struggling emotionally?
Sometimes it's actually admitting to themselves that the person has a problem. Because sometimes the families are in denial too. They're like, ain't nothing wrong with them. They just need to go do this then, But sometimes they really do have an issue. And it's okay to say, hey, well, maybe we need to go talk to somebody to help you evaluate it. And then, there are support groups for families. There's it's NAMI, I think it's the National Alliance of Mental Illness. They have support groups. They have all kind of resources out there. There's a suicide prevention hotline. There are lots of resources out there. And a lot of times people don't seek help because they don't know where to begin. And a lot of people don't know that, like, your health insurance, most of them have a behavioral health portion that will connect you with a counselor for the regular copay that you pay for your doctor's visits.
What about when the family member is the problem?
Sometimes you have to separate yourself. You have to recognize that this is a toxic relationship. Just because the person is your family doesn't mean that the relationship isn't toxic. Sometimes you have to choose you and like, you know what? This is stressing me out. This is taking me outside of my the character that I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a trigger for me. So I have to limit how I deal with you. You know, love you from a distance.
So
And
you're
sometimes there's people's mother, brother, children, you know, because like they say, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. So, but you
That's
can't
true.
choose how you deal with them.
That's right. I agree.
so you're counseling a person, and they're talking, and they're going through the motions, and in the back of your head, you're saying, "It is you." How do you help that person that is in denial of themselves?
You put it back on them. You ask them a question. What do you think you could have done differently that may have yielded a different result?
And that normally works.
Well, it gets you talking, and then
Okay.
you ask further questions based on what they say.
Keep them talking. Keep them talking. Keep them guessing. Telling on themselves, basically.
Well, the goal of counseling is not for me to figure out your problem. It's for me to help you figure out your problems. Because I
Right.
can tell you what to do all day, but you're the one who has to live with whatever consequences and choices that you make. So most people actually know what they need to do, but they're just so clouded because of, you know, lifing that they can't think straight
Right.
to figure out how to solve their own problems. So a lot of it is just processing and just helping them figure out what they need to do. You're never supposed to be in a counseling session where the counselor saying you need to do da 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 da. That's not how that works.
Tell everybody what do you tell them, or at least I would like to know what you tell them when they say, "Oh, I just want to get away from here. I just want to move to another state."
Well, what's your first step to doing that? Is that feasible? How can you do that? What's your plan? Where do you
Right.
want to go? What will you
Right.
do? Just ask some questions, make them talk through it,
Right. Or tell them that
and see
hey,
if it's realistic.
right. Just always remember though, if that is the case, and you just want to get out of here, and everybody's so hard, and it's you, but of course you
Oh,
wouldn't
you're
know it's
saying
you.
like kill themselves? I thought you meant like
No,
move.
no, no, no. That's not what I'm
No,
saying.
move.
I'm just saying
Oh,
if they say they want to move, just I would say that always remember that you got to take yourself with you if you want to move. You know, if you are the problem, remember you're only taking yourself with you, and whatever goes or whatever you have is going with you. So just don't be in denial of yourself.
yeah, you can always ask them what will that solve for you? You know,
Yeah.
why do you want to move? What problem is that going to resolve for you?
Right.
And then if they say, well, because I won't have to deal with these people no more. Well, you know, there are going to be some more people wherever you go. So it's about your tolerance level. You can not be around those people, but somebody somewhere is going to get on your nerves. So how are you going to respond?
So, what are some of the most common mental health challenges that you see today?
A lot of people are dealing with depression and they don't recognize it because depression can show up in different forms. Like in men, a lot of time it comes, you know, irritability, anger outbursts. Sometimes they drink, sometimes they withdraw, sometimes it messes with their libido. Women, the symptoms are a little different. Sometimes, you know, we carry it in our stomach. Like you'll have stomach aches, you'll have headaches, you know, muscle soreness and different things like that. Everybody just thinks this, you know, oh, I'm crying all the time. I can't sleep. I can't eat. You know, yeah, that's part of it too. But sometimes it actually takes physical comes out in physical symptoms. So, you know, it's always good to go visit your physician to make sure you don't actually have a physical condition because a lot of times, just say diabetes, for instance, when people blood sugar, you know, is up or down, they can act, you know, irrational. They can get
Mm-hmm.
woozy. They can, you know, get confused and everything. So first thing you need to make sure you don't actually have a physical condition. And then if you have ruled that out, maybe you need to get an assessment to see what else is going on.
I believe in that. I believe in that. So is it more so in prison or in the real world or outside of prison?
What do you mean?
Is what?
Mental health issues.
Oh, mental health is everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of it is undiagnosed, but it's very prevalent. At one point, I think it was like 1 in 25 people. But you got to think about it. Those are the people that actually have sought help and have a diagnosis. There's people walking around every day that don't have diagnosis, that clearly have mental health issues. And a lot of people, like I said, they wear masks. They function well as much as they can. I did it myself. And then you go home and you're suffering in silence.
I'd imagine though, outside of the real world, and then once you enter the prison system, that only magnifies it. That intensifies it, right?
Well, I mean, some people are resilient. They learn how to, just go with the flow. Is it ideal? No, but this is where I am right now, so I'm gonna make the best of the experience. So everybody that's in prison is not, they're not depressed. Like, they have jobs. They, go to school. They actually, if you think about it, the prisoners way outnumber the actual staff. They run the prison. The staff just supervise it. They cook, they clean, they do the yard work. So I mean, some of them just learn how to adapt, and some people who've been there so long have become institutionalized. Right. And then when they get out, they can't function, and they end up coming back. That's why the recidivism rate is so high, or they're not adequately prepared to go back into society. I had one person on my caseload. He got locked up at 19, and he was with somebody, and it was just a bad situation, wrong place at the wrong time. But he got a 10-year sentence. So when it came time for him to get out, he was just acting up. I was like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "The way that you're acting, threatening people, you're going to get a new charge." And he was like, "I've been in here so long, I don't know what to do when I get out." He's like, they didn't have cell phones when I came in here. Now they got cell phones. He's like, "The world has changed so much, I don't know what to do." I was like, "That's no reason for you to stay in here. Take a class." I was like, learn, but don't mess up your future because you're scared to go. So, and he did. He called me back when he got out. He's like, "Hey, I just want to tell you, I got into computer classes and, I'm learning." I was like, "Very good." I was like, "You can do it."
Thank you for that. Thank you on his behalf.
Right. You also worked in the juvenile, correct?
I did. And that was a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
Because the system is set up to protect them at all costs, no matter what they do. And it's really not. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, tell us a moment that almost made you quit.
Oh, it was a lot of moments. I didn't do it, but less than a year, because I was like, this is a joke. Because I was on call every other week, all week long. And if they call you in the middle of the night, you have to go. And I remember one night they called me at 3:00 and said this young man said he was gonna kill himself. I was like, "Okay, I'm coming." So I got there and he was asleep. So I kicked the bottom of his bed. I was like, "Wake up." He was like, I'm sleeping. I was like, "I was in my bed sleep. We gonna talk tonight."
Right.
And he was like, "I'm all right now." Okay, I understand you're all right now, but I need you to tell me what's wrong with you when they woke me up. So we talked about it, and I was like, "You good?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." But that didn't work for my lifestyle. I had 2 small kids, and that just didn't work for me.
Yeah, it seems kind of toxic.
Yeah.
So do you feel that some of those, do you ever have moments when you feel like it's so many different spirits or attitudes or whatever that come at you? Do you ever feel like, help me formulate this question. Do you ever feel like they jump on attacks? You? Yeah, there you go. That one.
I stay prayed up.
Okay.
I used to just be, generic pray, keep it moving. But I know particularly when I was working in the community, I had one family I was working with, the son, but the stepmom told me, she's like, "I'm Wiccan." I was like, "You mean like witchcraft?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I said, "So, with the whole spells and seances and different stuff." She's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Halloween is like our Easter to Christians. That's when we start celebrating Halloween." But yeah, she's like, "Yeah." And, I was, had a very active prayer group, and the pastor that was with us, he was like, you need to read Psalms 91 before you go in these people's houses. He was like, anoint yourself, read Psalms 91 because you are dealing with all kind of, spirits, and you don't want that transference.
Right.
I mean, yeah. I was sold after she told me about the witchcraft, because I was like, I'm not about to play those games. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
No, that's right. Now it's called Trunk or Treat or
Yeah.
Holy Ween. Yeah.
Well, I figured out my kids, they just wanted the candy. So
Right.
I bought them candy. I would get them pizza, the little cookies with the icing on it. We would watch a movie, so that they didn't feel like they were missing out on anything. But I was like, we don't play with witchcraft in this house. We serve the Lord, and I'm like, we're not watching, Twitches. We're not watching Harry Potter. We're not doing all that, because that's witchcraft. And I was like, how do you know that the spells that they're saying on this movie or in this book is not real? We're not going to play with it. We just going to take it for face value. It's okay. It's other stuff for us to do. And here go your candy.
You better say that. You said that. Yes. We can end the show now.
No, we can't end it. Because we can't end it because I need to know about how do I trust thee?
Yes.
Okay. How do I trust thee?
Please show us the book, please.
I did not intend on writing this one either.
And also, where can we find these books?
They're all on Amazon. So if you put in Carla Havior, all three of them will pop up for you. Okay. How do I trust thee? First of all, let me just say I've had a lot of experiences in life. I've been, the girlfriend, the live-in girlfriend, the baby mama, the wife, the divorcee, the single parent. I've been all the things, right? And some of the stuff, I was like, why? I must be on pump. I was like, I can't make this stuff up. It's crazy. And so I was like, it has to be for a reason. So one day I just woke up with a storyline in my head. And I was like, okay. And I just sat down and started typing, and as I typed, it flowed. And I did not type the next chapter until something else came in my head, and it morphed into how do I trust thee? And I was like, Lord, you did that, because I didn't come up with none of that. But it's about a young lady. And it's crazy because a lot of the story is bits and pieces from a whole bunch of people that I know, and some of it's mine, some of it's theirs, but it wasn't intentional. But it's not one person's story. It's like a whole mosh posh of different things. And even some of them, I didn't even know that was like something that my friend had experienced. Like, I went through that. Right? I'm like, you never told me that. They were like, I know. So it's kind of crazy. But it's about a young lady who is in her mid-20s. She has a boyfriend, and she was in the process of making him a birthday dinner, got off work early. He had left his cell phone in her house, and some kind of way he ended up in her house with the neighbor, and she came in and called him. And so, of course, that didn't end well. She ends up in prison, and she wakes up like, well, wait a minute, how did I get here? So it kind of flashed back to the whole scene, and then it takes you through her dealing with her emotions, being betrayed, not being able to trust. And then, she actually went through counseling. So it gives you a little blurb of what a counseling session looks like. And then her putting herself back out there and the type of men that she encountered. And funny story is, every man that she encountered in that book, I actually met those people for real. So it was kind of, it was crazy. But I was like, okay, Lord, that's why I met all these fools, because they were supposed to be in this profile in this book. But so she finally gets to a place where, she's good and she meets her person. And so the next book is her life with her person.
And she went to prison because of what?
She went to jail. She didn't go to prison.
Oh,
but she got out of it.
Okay.
Off of murder? Or
no, it wasn't murder. You got to read the book.
We got to read the book.
Okay. Well,
I knew she wasn't going to tell us.
Right.
Now I want to know. So now I got to go on Amazon and get it like tonight.
Got to get
because now I want to know.
Or ask not, receive not. Can you send us a copy?
See,
I got it for free.
And it's also on Kindle. So you if you like to read your books on your tablet, or if you like,
I don't.
Or you could just sew into her and purchase the book.
I can. I don't
And
like
you can
that.
actually
Looking at the
give
screen.
somebody a book too, if you would like.
There you go. Like by me,
All your
right?
favorite listeners.
Or he can buy
Or-
2 and give me 1.
Okay.
That's
Give me
true.
one more conjunction word off the conjunction. Keep
That's
going. Keep
true.
going. Or and Carla
we
Havior
go. Look.
in the building. Carla V Havior is in the building. We have about 13 more of those minutes left.
Look at there. Look at there.
Please hit the like and subscribe. If you're seeing your screen right now, you will see all 3 of her books. And some of these events are based on true stories, or some of these stories are
I'm
based off
curious.
true
I
events.
need to go read. I'm curious.
Right.
And I think, it hits people different because the first one, my niece, she's younger. She could identify with, the whole dating scene and everything. But one of my best friends, she's married, so that she could identify more with the sequel, and the challenges of marriage and everything. So,
Okay.
But I've had several people like, oh, this sounds like a movie. I was like, well, say that. We can do it.
Say it. Hey.
I can write it too now. I am a pretty good
well,
writer.
Let's work together.
Let's do
You
it.
got to read it first so we can work it out.
I will. Seriously, we can
He's
literally
getting
do
ready to
that.
buy. He's getting ready to buy 2.
We can do that. Seriously, we really can. We would just virtually have to write, but we'll get to that together and figure this out. But I definitely can do that now.
Look at that.
So the spinoff.
I've even had people to tell me which character they want to play. I'm like, okay, well, hold that thought.
Give me a crazy guy. I want to play a crazy guy.
Oh, well, you definitely need to be Mike.
Mike.
All
right.
Yeah,
Give me
you'll see who Mike
give me the
is.
synopsis. Give me the synopsis of Mike.
Mike was the boyfriend that got caught.
Let him play Mike.
The boyfriend that got caught.
Let him play Mike.
Mike shows up in both books. Mike shows up in both books.
I'm more of the crazy uncle, Girl, you know how to get your buddy and leave that fool. That boy ain't no good. I tell you, he ain't no good. But,
So show me how it might be.
So Mike's the
That's
player.
the one who got played. I mean, no, that was the player. That's the one who got caught. How would Mike act?
Mike would be on some more, depends on where he works. So like I said, I would need to hear the synopsis. But I mean, if he's a player, then of course he's telling the
How
same
would you
lie
try to
twice.
get yourself out of that situation? What would you
Right.
say is Mike?
Oh, if I'm caught red-handed in the bed,
Yeah.
we was just playing.
Yeah.
We was just playing.
In her house.
We was just playing. This girl, matter of fact, I wrote a poem about it. Just because you see me on top doesn't mean I hit the spot. I didn't do it.
You didn't do it.
I did not do it.
You see what I'm talking about?
Just because she was looking up to the fan doesn't mean
That I'm that man.
that I'm that man. I didn't
You didn't do it.
Shout out to Chris Rock. Chris Rock wrote that. So, got to give a shout out to Chris Rock. However,
Now, how would you get out of it?
just because I got, you know what? I wrote a spinoff, funny little freaking video about that. Kind of like Weird Al Yankovic used to do his thing, or what's the Tom Joyner, the guy that would be Tom Joyner, that used to always make those little killing the hits. I wrote a song about that though. Seriously,
You said a song.
your wife instead of life. Used to be called your wife.
So a whole
Temperatures like 100
parody of the
degrees.
song.
Right. Right. Your wife. Yeah, but definitely, seriously, I am so interested in putting the script out there.
Caller, you see, he would not answer the question.
How would I what?
How would you get out of it?
I just told you. I would.
You gave
my
me-
poem.
Man.
We was just playing,
And you sticking with that.
and I'm sticking with that. In her house. This is
That's
my
why she went to jail. That's why she went to jail right there.
That
type-
part.
This is my yoga instructor. Girl, why is you tripping? This is my baby. Listen, she said she was gonna come over here. We was gonna do the yoga thing, right?
And I'm not home. So why are you having her in my house when I'm not home?
Okay.
That part.
You said I need to get out more and get more friends. That's your fault. Don't
Get
put that
out.
on me.
But you got to get out, not in. Don't bring her in my house. Why did you go out to the yoga studio?
Well, I wasn't in a house.
You were in my house and you had her in my bed.
I was in somewhere, but I wasn't.
Yeah, in. That's it. That's why your butt got caught.
No. I got caught.
You got
because you
caught.
told a lie.
What?
Yes, you said
So
you was gonna
it's
be.
my fault?
You said you was gonna be home
he
at 8.
tripping. What?
This is your fault. You said you was gonna be home at 8. You said you was going to be home at 8 o'clock.
But-
It's 7:30. I had 30 more minutes.
To do what? In
We-
my house.
Play yoga.
Yoga.
Yes, right.
But you didn't go to the yoga studio.
I was at the studio.
Not in my
How
house.
she
I
get
was-
there?
Right.
I was at the boudoir.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll
The
work
Bible
through that, Mike.
The Bible say forgive and forget.
What?
The Bible say forgive and forget.
Man.
Why you gotta
But you
bring up
didn't
old
tell
stuff?
you had to stick around after you
That,
forgave.
right.
It's not my fault. You said you was gonna be home at 7:30, and you told me I need to get out more. And that's that.
You got okay, we have questions. I could definitely
It wasn't me. That's what I'm talking about. It wasn't me.
man.
Okay, Shaggy.
Yeah, come on.
Right.
It wasn't me.
It was all you.
Yet will I trust thee.
Let's go.
It's what I will tell you after you catch me. Oh boy, yet will I
Boy.
trust thee. Is what I need to hear
You know
from your
what?
What? This is what I need to hear, Maria.
If you were from South Carolina,
What? Knots all upside the head?
nah, boy, you fool up.
I fool up, baby.
Fool up.
I fool up, baby.
He fool up.
And what if I was from New York? How would that saying go?
Boy,
You illin', son. No, I
It'll
don't say
be
illin'
fun.
no
It'll
more.
be fun, right?
it be son.
Son,
Yeah.
son.
Let's see. Kelvin.
You bugging, son. Yeah,
they
Kelvin,
still-
are you watching? What would the lingo be? What would the vernacular be if you you just tripping? Son, you tripping? Is it tripping?
Nah.
Anyway, I think that's an
They
ATL
say,
thing. You
you know,
tripping.
they say you bugging.
You bugging?
I don't know if they still say that.
You be illin'.
Oh.
Yet will I trust thee. A little bit about that. Yet will I trust thee.
So, still same character. She's moved on. She's healed. She's found love. They got married. So
But
it
Mike
takes-
ain't got over it though, right?
Mike shows back up. He
Of
shows
course. And he ain't got over it. I ain't got over it. I ain't over it. Maria,
Get over it.
I'm not over it.
Get over it.
Baby,
shows
baby,
back up.
baby.
Get over it.
Baby,
I'm
baby.
done with you. Get over it.
Okay, what did I do wrong though?
Disrespectful, so and so and so and so.
Well, why you answer the phone?
What phone?
I just called you. And why did
He
you answer
writing
the
a whole
phone?
different narrative. He didn't call her in the book.
She,
writing a whole different
he
narrative.
shows up.
Oh, he shows up.
He shows up.
Why you answer the door? That's your fault. See, once again, here we go again. It's your fault.
You got to read the book to see how
We're going to
he
have to
shows
read the book.
Right. Don't
But
take
the
our
point
word
is-
for
You
it.
know what? That goes all the way back to Adam and Eve because Adam blamed Eve. But then you're the man. Why'd you even follow her up?
Why'd you listen to the devil?
Why did you listen to me?
I'm your man.
You're the head.
I'm the
Why'd
man.
you listen?
Okay, so it's out that garden.
Carla, I'm back to you because we get ready to start.
Carla,
Let's get ready to be on.
Carla,
we get ready to start.
She is practicing some very ill behavior, and we need your help. Okay.
Okay.
And I still
that's
wanna
a
know-
side conversation.
All right. Right.
Look, can you life coach us? real
Yes.
quick?
Can you
'Cause-
exactly?
Can you life coach us like right
Exactly.
now because I'm not feeling him right now.
Well, see, it's
Well,
not
you're
Mike's fault.
communicating effectively, first of all, because
Oh,
you have to be quiet to listen to the other person. So I'm gonna do like those school teacher tell you. That's why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. You're supposed to listen more than you talk.
And let me add to that.
And you listen to understand, not listen to respond.
Okay, and let me add to that. Since you caught me in the bed, because you have 2 ears, there are 2 sides to every story. All right, just because you saw it, you need
So
to hear
you
what I
said
got to say about it.
She didn't see what she thought she saw.
It wasn't what you thought.
No, she saw, but she got to listen twice.
It wasn't what I thought.
It wasn't what you thought.
You like
was it?
Shaggy, you got you on camera. It wasn't me.
It wasn't.
It
me.
wasn't me.
It wasn't what I thought. I don't want to hear that book.
In the bathroom, it wasn't me. Just because I was there doesn't mean I was yanking on her hair. I didn't do it.
I'm about to get mad.
Okay, what is Mike's girlfriend's name by chance?
Her name is Nia.
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 Why you playing, Nia?
Why you lying, Mike?
I ain't lying.
You lying?
I ain't lying.
Okay.
Only line I do is a dandelion. I'm not lying.
Got to read the book
Okay.
Gotta read
You
the
got to
book.
see.
because you see
No, okay, so Baba Kelvin says, you see, you going to the wrong thing. Feel me? You see that right there? You bugging.
bugging. Oh, so they still say bugging.
Right there? Now, so you got to put emphasis on that right there.
You see, you going to the wrong thing.
You see? You going
the
to the
right
wrong thing. You see that right there? You bugging.
It wasn't me.
Shout out to Mr. Frazier, Kelvin Frazier. The L is not silent, ladies and gentlemen. Do not call that man Kevin. Kelvin Frazier.
So is this a little bit of mental health right here?
It could be. You know, we need to do a further assessment to figure out what's really going on.
Can we get an assessment?
No.
I'll pay for it.
Can I get a check is the question.
Hey, now listen.
And can I get off of work? Because I can, you know what I mean? Whatever it needs to be.
I'll help you.
Help me.
I will help you.
Right.
I got to get a portion
you're
of
gonna have
that
to keep
check.
that up the rest of your life.
Forever.
It's all, as long as I don't have to take medication. I can keep it up. Al Capone did it.
And I believe you can keep it up.
Of course I can keep it
because
up.
for all the time that I've known you.
Right.
Yeah, you've kept that up.
My mind has not been right for a long time though.
Well, you do know if you play it too well and they decide that you're a threat to somebody else or yourself, they can involuntarily medicate you, right?
Ooh.
Can they really?
Yeah. It's a cold court thing, but they can, yeah.
Oh.
3 words. I am allergic. You ain't putting that medication in me.
Boy.
Huh? The medication gonna make me go crazier.
Make you sick.
All right? Don't make me, Mike. Hey, listen, Nia.
What, Mike?
Listen. Okay, so here I'm gonna act out a little part.
Okay.
And you just improvise. This is part 2. And yet will I trust thee and I show up, Nia. Nia, listen. I'm sorry. Can you? I just need you to hear me out, seriously, because.
What, Mike?
No, but seriously, why it always got to be that attitude with you? I'm serious. I'm trying to be real right now.
What do you want?
I've
moved on.
Please hear me out.
I've moved on. What do you need, Mike?
Please hear
Why are you even here?
If you be quiet, I can tell you. Okay, seriously. I'm being totally serious right now. I'm sorry. I'm a different person. Okay. Yes, I'm going to tell the truth. You caught me red-handed. Mm-hmm. I did not mean it. I just want to know if there's any chance that you and I can be one again.
No.
Any chance whatsoever?
No.
Like a chance like
none.
1 in a million
Mike,
or 1 out of 10?
I appreciate
I'm asking a question. Once
the
again, you're not listening to me.
The answer is no.
I asked you a question.
And I'm telling you no.
Hold on.
I appreciate.
Is there a chance like 1 in a million?
No.
Or 1 out of 10?
No.
No, answer that question though.
The answer is no to that question.
So are my chances as great as 1 out of 10 or 1 out of a million? Or 1 out of
0.
1 out of 0?
0. Just point blank. 0.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
There's no chance. There's no chance. But Mike, I do appreciate that you came and you know that you realized that you were wrong, and I appreciate that. But you know, I've moved on, and you need to do the same.
Well, thank you for hearing me out. But
you're welcome. But no,
that's not an answer. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are at that point. It is 8:00, and we have been joined by the wonderful, the beautiful, the lovely, the author, the so forth and so on, the educator, the therapist, all those good things, by Carla V. Havior. And that is not a play of words, ladies and gentlemen. That is her name.
No, we
Carla
truly enjoyed you.
Havior.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming out.
Awesome.
When you're down here, we got to get you coming here. Matter of fact, there is a mental health awareness month, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in May.
Is it? Oh, okay. So maybe next May we can get you in studio.
So maybe in May you'll come back.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
In person. In the studio.
Right. In studio. Yes.
I was just in Atlanta last week. It just didn't work out.
Okay, so now if you're ever in Atlanta now, let's meet up at Starbucks and let's start writing this book. Seriously. I mean this script.
I want you to read it so we can, you got to read it first, but we're gonna do it. I'm all in. I'm all in.
And when I tell you now, we play a lot, but he's so serious.
No, I'm serious. I
am too.
Yeah, I
think on the creative side, is the creative the right or the left? I forget.
I don't know.
I think it's the right.
I don't know.
All right.
But you are very creative. I will give you that.
Thank you, there, Maria.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you are so white. I mean, right.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank
Woo,
you.
keep
Thank
me
you.
there.
Thank
Keep
you.
me
Roll
there.
the credits because we just go keep on talking and tripping.
And y'all better
You
hurry up
bugging,
and roll
son.
them because I am about to.
You go dot this I?
That one.
Well, at least if I black your eye, you would be a little black.
Oh! Yeah, it's on and popping now.
Oh yeah.